Go on.
Who did go off on his own and left his mother and went off looking for a quick way round to the Sargasso Sea. And the mother eel suddenly discovered she was too tight. She was getting a bit of cramp and couldn't swim anymore. Oh, imagine the little eel. And started to succumb to the waves.
Yeah.
And felt her life ebbing away. And at this point, normally...
This proves my point, James.
Well, exactly. You see, but normally, she would have relied on the young eel to support her both morally and physically.
Hold hands, you mean?
Yeah, to keep her buoyant.
Yeah.
And also to be a comfort.
Yeah.
And so, as she was slipping away, she mourned the absence of a young Elva in the following song, because he'd left her, you see. And she sang, because they're a bit like whales, you know, they can sing, and they can be heard for many, many miles under the sea.
Slip sliding away, James.
Yeah. Well, David Attenborough told me that. And do you know what song the eel sang?
Slip sliding away.
No. Because this particular eel had always been a big Kenny Rogers fan.
Kenny Rogers?
Yeah. So the switchboard's all just lit up now with people who've got it.
No, I'm afraid of...
And the eel propped herself up.
I can't think of one Kenny Rogers song except for Lucille.
Yes, you
Oh, Lucille! Oh, blimey, I can't believe that.
What did the mother eel sing?
You picked a fine time to leave me.
Exactly!
Lucille. James.
Am I wasting my time here?
You certainly are not.
Thank you.
James, you know when you suck a sherbet lemon?
Oh, yes.
Now, do you know when you suck one and you feel a little groove coming one side of the sherbet lemon? And you know for a fact, if you put the end of your tongue into that little groove, it's going to cause a nasty cut on your tongue. So the alarm bells start ringing, and you say to yourself in your head, now the last thing I must do is put my tongue in that little groove and wiggle it about, otherwise I'll get a nasty cut.
I think you should speak to John in Gorton, actually. He could do with... I think he needs this kind of advice.
So what do you do, James?
Well, it's one of those things where...
This is human nature. I'm trying to figure out why we... So the first thing you do is you put your tongue in the little groove and cut the end of your tongue. I know, life's like that. And everything's screaming at you, don't do it. Don't do it. And the alarm bells are ringing, and yet you've got to do it.
I think it's probably something to do with man's desire for gratification coupled with the balancing of... it's a risk assessment, isn't it? I think
you've hit the nail right on the head there, James.
You make a judgment. I mean, I remember speaking to someone about this, having a long discussion. It's the old thing about your chances of winning the lottery are about the same as your chances of being struck by lightning.
Yeah, I believe so.
Right, but you see, your chances of you will buy a ticket on the lottery, but you won't walk about in a thunderstorm holding a clothes prop.
No, no.
Because of the...
Well, a clothes prop's wooden, isn't it?
Well, mostly,
in my day, they were wooden with the little V cut in the top.
Well, you can get metal ones from Argos.
I didn't know that, James.
Yeah. But even so, I still think a wooden one represents a serious threat because it does make it... Anyway, that's it's neither here nor there.
Right.
But you see... Because, the one thing is, if you don't win the lottery, you're no worse off.
Exactly.
But, well, you're £1 worse off.
Right.
But if you do...
That's the widow's mite, that pound, isn't it, James? You could be it.
Well, there is that, yeah. Let's not get biblical. But... Or rabbinical. But if you do win the lottery, you're much better off. Whereas, as regards being struck by lightning, it's not the same thing, is it?
No.
If you don't get struck by lightning, you're no worse off.
Guinness Book of Records, James. There's a chap in America, in Arizona, who's been struck by lightning 7 times.
He's not, has he?
He has. And there's a picture of him sat up in the hospital bed, and he looks the most miserable bloke you've ever seen in your life. I can't help laughing
when I look at his
picture.
It's like, you know that story. Oh, I must tell you this. I've got to tell you this story. I'll tell you the joke the way it's supposed to be done, right?
Okay.
And this joke is, I've heard it on an old, an LP of some old BBC comedy show from like the 1950s. It's at least this old, this gag.
Okay.
And the joke is, in Manchester, a pedestrian is knocked down on average every 20 minutes.
Oh.
And he's fed up with it. Right. That's the joke. Okay. Mate, all right, show a bit of respect for it. It's 50 years old.
Yeah, it must be, James, on the rest.
Right, okay. So that's the gag. But on my favourite of all television shows, never mind Deal or No Deal, don't even nod in the direction of Countdown, and I'm even prepared to put it in front of Property Ladder.
Right.
Right. My favourite of all, You've Been Framed. If you remember, Lisa Riley used to link it before they decided not to have anybody there, but to get Harry Hill to do it, right?
I remember.
Right, Lisa, and she used to do these gags, and she tried this gag, but this is how she told it. There's a bloke in Manchester who gets knocked down every 15 minutes, and he's fed up with it.
Right. What can you expect from a dingle?
Well, I know, I thought, that's not right, but they left it in. Nobody said, hang on, Lisa, no, you've cocked that up, Lisa. That's right. Either nobody noticed it, or they thought, oh, never mind, right. So there. So that's the gag. What do you think?
Well, I thought it was pretty rubbish, James, to be honest with you.
That's the idea. Oh, rubbish. That's, where have I heard that expression before? It's one Jackie uses on an irritatingly regular basis.
Right, James.
Anyway, thank you. So, just to summarise then, the eel, the most stupid...
is the most thick animal on the face of the earth, unless anyone knows anything different.
Unless anyone knows a more stupid animal, yeah.
Yeah.
And what
Could be anything, an amoeba, a caterpillar, anything.
Okay. And what was the other thing? I can't remember now.
Well, why we put our tongues into the slits and sherbet lemons.
Sherbet lemons.
Because they invariably, James, come with a splash.
Yeah.
And yet we know we shouldn't do it, and yet we know that little taste of the blood comes at the end of the tongue, and you think, oh my God, I've gone and done it, I've gone and done it.
I know. I don't know. It's something to do, mankind's helter-skelter rush towards destruction. There's two ways, yes, I mean, there's that. There's why do that with a sherbet lemon. There's also why take a commodity which you know is finite, build your entire existence so that it's dependent upon it, and then let anyone who can stand up and walk straight have access to it and waste it as much as they want. Yeah, that's like oil, isn't it? So I think the two things they're difficult to unravel, to be honest with you. I think so, anyway. Mind you, it's a lot cooler today, isn't it? We're off to Duckingfield now. Who was that? Sorry, that was John, wasn't it? Duckingfield's our next stop. If you can think of a stupider animal than an eel, and no, hey, it's worth spending some time. Don't dismiss it like that. It's worth spending some time trying to think of a more stupid animal than an eel, for reasons which I won't recap. Right. 0161 288 0103. There's certain the story about the policewoman in New Zealand who's moonlighting as a prostitute seems to have aroused a little interest. predictable, but nonetheless notable. And when we have the email desk, you'll be able to hear some of them. 0161 288 0103. In the meantime, stand by Duckingfield.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
She should be entitled to it no matter what the cost. She should be entitled to it on the NHS.
With Stepping Stones. See steppingstonesintowork.info.
I went to Glastonbury and I can't remember a thing.
Glastonbury, bring it on!
I must have been there, covered in mud.
The best festival in history.
Now it's all coming back. Radiohead, Faithless, Morrissey, Primal Scream, Scissor Sisters, The Mud, The Mayhem, the music.
Solstice. It's a label, man.
Glastonbury, the soundtrack to this year's 5-star Julian Temple film. On sale now.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant.
At Renault, we wanted to thank you van drivers for all the hard work you do. So, we've knocked £500 off the sat-nav and aircon package on Traffic and Master Vans until the end of August. For details, visit renaultvans.co.uk. But that's only part of our scheme. We also plan to make a few suggestions on your behalf to the government's Transport Minister. These are only suggestions. We're not going to hypnotise him or anything. So, Mr. Minister, if you're listening, change bus lanes to van lanes. Change bus lanes to van lanes. Change bus lanes to van lanes. Renault, we love you guys.
BA Connect have over 1 million seats available at fares that have never been lower. Guaranteed. The offer applies to all their routes to Europe and the UK. So, for example, you can fly to Belfast City from just £25 and Hanover from just £35. Both fares are one way and include tax. But you better hurry, because you have to book by midnight on the 24th of July. That's why I'm running home now to book. Look out, excuse me. Book at ba.com by midnight on the 24th of July. Subject to availability. Conditions apply.
Something beginning with road. Oh, me now. No. Something beginning with I want another go. I spotted my letter I. Something beginning with B. Dad.
RAC Patrolman Trevor Spong.
If you're travelling with kids and you're getting tired of I Spy, you'll find loads of other games at rac.co.uk and you can download them free.
For expert help on the road, even when you don't break down, visit rac.co.uk.
The Constitution, according to TalkTalk. You have the right to roam the internet freely. You have the right to access information, to download and to surf freely. You see, TalkTalk believe the internet is a right, not a privilege. So get the talk-free call plan and you'll get broadband free. To check the offer and broadband availability in your area, visit talktalk.co.uk. Free broadband from TalkTalk. Line rental fair use minimum contract terms and conditions apply.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Yes, you must. Trevor Spong. And also, you must visit our website, key103.co.uk. The reason I'd say that is that where is it? I can't find it now. That we've taken a photograph of the rubber band collection, the post office rubber band collection, and it's there on the website. And the actual photograph was taken in our beautifully laid out award-winning premises, right next to my computer workstation. So there's a little extra for you, just to give you some idea, because I think it's important that we don't appear to be too aloof from, common people like yourself. That although we live a fast-moving and privileged lifestyle, I haven't forgotten what it's like to be a git, because I see them on a regular basis. I used to be working class myself, luckily. Those days are over. So that's one of the things we thought we'd let you see what goes on here. And if you go to key103.co.uk, you'll see there. You'll see what we've done there. Well, with your help, you know what I mean. Right. I'm not taking all the credit, quite a bit. Right. John is in Duckingfield. Hello, John. You're on Key 103.
I'd like to talk about the British National Party.
Oh, right.
They've had some great success in Duckingfield,
Have they? Which is more than you have, of course, John.
Oh,
isn't it?
I've had great success, don't you worry.
In what capacity? As
well, the British National Party.
As a master of disguise who can fool people into believing you're somebody else than who you actually are.
The British National Party now have 52 seats.
Really? And yet this is someone with a Yorkshire accent.
Well, I stood in Duckingfield Ward and came second, and Tories went all berserk.
And what name did you put on the ballot paper, John?
British National Party.
No, what name? What name? What was your name?
What was my name? What I said? John.
Yes, not Roy.
No.
No, not Roy.
Miles, no, actually, I stood in Miles Platting, I'll tell you.
Oh, right.
We did very well in Miles Platting.
So the name...
thousands of people are now turning to a party that cares for community values instead of John Reeve, who is an ex-communist, as we all know, and IRA supporter.
Although, as I think I said at the opening, I will correct people when they're wrong, and this is one of those occasions. It would appear that hardly anybody's voting for the British National Party.
Well, if you look at
hang on, just let me check you, John. Sorry, it is John, isn't it?
Well, I don't repeat myself.
Oh, you do, but. I just want to check. Your name is John, isn't it?
Thousands of people are now turning to a party that cares about them, not listening to an Home Secretary who is an ex-communist. And, this is George Galloway's actual words on Talk, other station. He said that John Reeve was an ex-communist and IRA supporter. Now, the IRA have killed many innocent people. 11 people at Inniskillen. So we don't trust... I
think you'll find it was rather more than that, but...
Well, we don't trust John Reeve or the loony left Labour government. We want a British National Party government who will smash crime, tougher sentences, all these things, and the BNP are well on the way. And by the way,
I tell you what,
the Mayor of Keighley has now come over to the BNP. The Mayor of Keighley.
How do you know so much about Keighley? It's almost as if you're a Yorkshireman yourself.
Well, they gained another seat in Etman-Wyke. That's 2 seats in Etman-Wyke, 3 in Halifax, 4 in Bradford. It's growing. Do you know why it's growing? Why is BNP growing?
I think, Joe, I'll tell you why I think it is. I think it's because supporters of the British National Party are so intelligent and
is it because
clever and
do you think they've had enough of loony lefty politicians and sympathisers like you?
I think it's because
I love a good tale. You know, they don't make Hovis the way they used to do, and that's because of mass immigration.
Right, that's right. Well, I'm told that Hovis is actually, it gets its brown colour from having little bits of immigrants ground into a paste and mixed in with the fluffy dough.
I'm Greek-English.
You are.
With a touch of Pakistani.
Yeah.
But I do believe in the BNP's policies of repatriation and getting British culture and heritage back on the agenda. Instead of listening to a Home Secretary, he's more concerned about his suit and his tie, and his guitar-playing IRA songs.
I see. Well,
and this has all been said by George Galloway anyway. I'm not making accusations. George Galloway has told the world, as well as his Arab friends and terrorists, that George Galloway is a loony lefty communist who's trying to get the Home Office back into shape.
Right, okay.
So we really need to get a debate going about what is English culture and what is heritage, and how far are British people going to say, oh, well, let's have another 450,000 illegal immigrants in.
450,000?
We want.
God blimey, you've turned from Dickie Bird into a Pearly King there.
I've been around the world. I tell thee.
And I tell you,
South Africa, Pakistan.
I've often thought myself of going round the world, but the trouble is, almost everywhere you go, there's bloody foreigners there, isn't there?
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Britain better start opening its eyes to the... Do you know something? The BNP's policies are being adopted by John Major and...
Oh, well, in that case, that's going to make a difference.
Do you know...
The whole of Huntingdon will be a BNP stronghold.
Well, you've heard of the third position.
Well,
the third way.
Usually got stitched by then, actually.
I don't want to get sexual, I'm asexual.
Well, that's not what I've heard you called, but anyway.
The fact is, the third way was pinched by Patrick... was pinched from Patrick Harrington. He, by gum.
Roy.
Hey, will you stop calling me names that I don't exist about?
Roy.
I'm on here talking about...
Roy.
Getting British culture back on track.
Roy. It's me. It's your old friend, James.
Are you Jewish, by the way?
Yes, of course I am.
Because you've got a bloody big nose.
Ah, that's right. Well, the two go together, naturally.
You can't be good-looking like me, son.
No. I wish
I've got a lot of sun this week,
I wish I looked like Ben Turpin. Anyway,
if you was as good-looking as me, pal, you'd be happy, I tell you.
Well, I suppose...
bought a new suit today, and I've been canvassing for BNP because I believe that we need to rescue this country from the nutcases and the multiculturalists and the multiracialists.
I couldn't agree more, but I'm afraid the law prevents me from strangling you with my bare hands.
You have said on radio...
Roy.
Stop calling it Roy, lad.
Roy.
They don't talk like that in Yorkshire. There's not many Roys in Yorkshire, son.
No, not enough.
But the fact is, you said one true word that I've always agreed with.
Roy, listen.
Do you want me to tell you one true word that you've said that I agree with?
Well, you could tell me your real name, but you're obviously denying it.
You said that you cannot dismiss people who have right-wing views.
Roy. We don't dismiss you because you have right-wing views.
No.
The reason I dismiss you is you're
and I applaud you for that.
Shut your face while I explain this to you carefully. The reason I don't want you on the radio...
Well, it don't matter now, does it, son?
No, it doesn't. But
as we both know, but it don't matter.
But the reason I have enjoyed keeping you off the radio is not because you have right-wing views.
I've been on many radios.
I'm sure you have, but fortunately not this one, which has made it almost bearable.
I've been on national radio.
I'm sure you have.
And stop calling me Roy or Shirley.
Okay, Roy. Right.
And stop calling me Shirley.
Yeah, well, that's a rib tickler.
I'll tell you something,
I've
never seen a nose as big as you've got.
Well, I know.
And what's this quiff you've got?
Yes. Anyway, listen to me.
You're a bit too old for this teddy boy look, I must say.
Yeah.
You know, get a grip of your sen.
Yeah. Right, listen. Right. The reason it's
Are you a Manchester City fan?
Roy.
You poor devil.
Roy. The reason it's been such
Stop calling me Roy now. I must tell you to stop making false impressions and accusations about my name.
Right. Okay.
Please, if you would just do courtesy of that. My name's John Akapa.
Okay. Nothing's too much trouble, Roy.
Thanks, Vic. I must tell you to stop saying Roy.
Right.
My name's John.
Right. Roy.
Oh, good God Almighty.
The reason I've enjoyed...
Hey, don't make accusations, you know, on there, you know, because I've read up on law, you know.
Yes. Yeah, you know
that, don't you?
I do. I read you were described as a serial complainer in a newspaper.
Did you really?
So the reason...
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Did you read the proper facts, though? Did you read the proper facts? Because you always
I was happy
happy
enough with that description. Anyway, the reason I have so enjoyed keeping you off the radio for the last 12 months or so is not because you have right-wing views, it's because you're a prick. Now then, I think I felt it was important to just make our position clear on that one, that without fear or favour. So there we are. It is, what time is it? 6 minutes past 11, and you're listening to James H. Reeve on Key 103. So, 0161 288 0103, whatever you have to say, but as I think we demonstrate from time to time, we are able to exercise a certain amount of control purely for editorial purposes. You know what I mean? Just to keep it lively and flowing. We'll be talking to Moston. We'll be triangulating on Moston in a minute, and I think we're also going to have an email desk, possibly. Thank you.
Sky Festival Manchester 2006. It's the UK's biggest free entertainment festival from the 11th to the 13th of August. This is where Sky TV and Key 103 will bring Manchester to life with over 31 TV channels and 36 events. Listen to Ditchy's Drive Home all next week on Key 103. For your chance to win a Sky Plus package, you just need to let us know why you're the king or queen of TV in Manchester. For details and free tickets, visit skyfestival.co.uk and switch on to Sky Festival with Sky TV and Key 103.
To get free broadband, just answer this simple question. Can you find your way to talktalk.co.uk? See, TalkTalk will give you a super-fast broadband connection free when you sign up to their talk-free call plan, so you don't have to pay to use the internet. Free broadband from TalkTalk. Line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply. To check offer and broadband availability in your area, visit talktalk.co.uk.
BA Connect have over 1 million seats available at fares that have never been lower. Guaranteed. The offer applies to all their routes to Europe and the UK. So, for example, you can fly to Belfast City from just £25 and Hanover from just £35. Both fares are one way and include tax. But you better hurry, because you have to book by midnight on the 24th of July. That's why I'm running home now to book. Look out, excuse me.
Book at ba.com by midnight on the 24th of July. Subject to availability, conditions apply.
Auto Glass Repair, Auto Glass Replace.
Gavin, 25, technician for Autoglass.
We had a customer called Karen, and when she rang Autoglass, she said she'd had a stone chip on her windscreen for ages, and it wasn't very big, so she just left it. Then she was on her way to pick up her kids from school. She accelerated a bit sharply, and it just went crack. She was in a right state. The thing is, you don't know if a chip's going to turn into a crack, but if it does, it's bound to be when you least expect it, isn't it? If you call Autoglass while it's still just a chip, we can usually repair it. So if Karen had called us earlier, an Autoglass technician could have come out to her house or work or wherever she wanted and repaired it there. We inject a special resin into it, and it takes about half an hour, and after that, your windscreen's as strong as it was before you got the chip. Now, with most insurers, if you fully comp, it's free. It normally doesn't affect your no claims either. So if you call Autoglass as soon as you get a chip on your windscreen, you might be saving yourself a lot of time and money.
Don't leave it. Get it repaired. Call Autoglass now on 0800 36 36 36.
Auto Glass Repair, Auto Glass Replace.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I'll tell you what is noticeable. There is a certain... Well, all the messages we've received about the policewoman in New Zealand, they all seem to have certain elements in common. You know what I mean? You can guess what they are, can't you? Policewoman in New Zealand who's supplementing her wage by prostitution. See? So tiresome. Albert in Moston, you're on Key 103. What do you want?
Hi, I think I've forgotten 1/3 of what I wanted, but...
You've forgotten a third of it?
Yeah, I've got problems with brain damage.
I know, listen. You know your problems with your short-term memory?
Yeah.
You keep telling me that.
I know, because it's embarrassing when I forget. I don't normally forget. Eels, lemmings, and what was the other subject that you've been on tonight?
New Zealand policewomen?
No.
British National Party?
No.
Sherbet lemons?
God, no. Anyway, eels.
I might have mentioned it, and you've forgotten.
No, I wouldn't forget it. I'd remember if it was retold.
Why don't you jot things down?
I can't see. I'm nearly blind. I'm paralysed on the right side with the stroke.
Oh my blood and sand.
That's why I've got short-term memory, because half my brain's gone.
Right.
Anyway, what I just told you, the two things I just said to you.
Oh, God's sake.
You've forgotten now, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, you confused me.
Eels.
Eels, that's right, yeah.
Eels are very intelligent, right?
Are they?
Are very, very, and they've been around for about 200 or 300 million years. And just because the eel goes from A to B, the currents go in a strata. So the long way round, right, from A to B, might be quicker because the current goes quicker at like 100 metres than it would at surface.
Right, so they're just going with the flow.
Well, they know what's going on, don't they? They've been around 200, 300 million years, and just because it's longer in miles, it might be quicker and less effort because of the subterranean current. It's with them.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you well, maybe you don't, but when you get in a route off Multimap on the internet, it gives you a choice. It says shortest journey or quickest journey.
So but even more so with sea or oceans.
Yeah, they might have sat-nav.
Maybe, if they're that clever.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I just mentioned?
I don't know, I got a bit bogged down in the eels. They can't be that intelligent, though, can they? They can't be as intelligent as...
Well, they get eaten by us, and I was going to say, it's something to do with us.
You never hear of a jellied owl, do you?
All right. When you think that a large proportion of our race believe in deities and have no proof whatsoever, apart from the fact they're brainwashed from being 2 or 3 years old by Catholics, Jews, Muslims and so-called religions who all grab the kids, and we see children in Muslim schools nodding up and down, reading the Quran like nodding donkeys, and the same in Catholic schools and all this. It's a dreadful thing. I don't think religion should be taught to anyone until they're 21.
I think in the interests of balance, Albert, I think you ought to criticise Protestants and...
Well, all of them, they're all the same.
No, I'm much more comfortable with that there. We haven't insulted anyone in particular now.
Well, I wouldn't insult anybody because they're all entitled to their own beliefs. It's just that to me, it's a regime of repression and brainwashing. And all the religions are guilty of the same thing.
All right, let's be very, very serious about this for a moment, because it is something which, while we feel we have the luxury of being in a secular society where we can
criticise,
we can criticise, and well, we used to think anyway, ridicule religions with impunity. I think we ought to think about that statement, about whether people who inculcate their children with a religion are doing it, well, the reason why they're doing it.
It's blind faith, isn't it, which covers a lot of sins.
Well, you see, some people sort of have the tendency to suggest that it's, in some way, it's wicked. And I honestly don't think that people who decide to bring the children up in a certain religion. No,
I've seen newsreel pictures of 6-year-old Muslim lads with their Qurans and their heads nodding up and down, like nodding donkeys on bloody oil rigs, and also other religions doing the same thing.
Yeah, but let me, you see, if you hadn't interrupted, it would have saved us those few vital seconds.
Right.
You see, when you see the newsreel films of kids doing it, and I've worked in that part of the world, and I've seen rooms full of adults doing it, but the reason they're doing it is because they were taught to do it when they were children.
Brainwashed.
Yes. But when you see them doing that, do you know what they are doing? They are learning the tenets of their religion. And the tenets of their religion are very much like those of any other religion.
Yeah, or humanism or whatever.
Well, no, don't bring humanism. I'm talking about theistic religions.
Yeah, well, I don't believe in theistic.
No, I know you don't, but we're talking about it, okay?
Yeah.
All religions which hold that there is a God, what they're doing is learning the tenets of their religion. And I didn't know this, actually, until comparatively recently, but there's certain Jews perform a ceremony not dissimilar, with a lot of bowing and all this sort of kneeling and all this sort of thing. Whereas...
genuflection.
Yeah, absolutely. Genuflection. Whereas, we Protestants tend to do it with a fuss.
Well, we kneel down, a lot of kneel down in church.
There's only a bit of it. But Protestants don't really know when to do it, and do they?
They don't know what
anyway,
they're
listen,
doing.
no, I'm getting to the point. I'm getting to the point here, despite you. Right. What they're doing is learning the tenets of their religion, and the tenets of virtually all religions of any consequence on this earth are actually of the very finest. They are about peace, tolerance, generosity, charity, and all this sort of thing. And before you start complaining, that's what they are all about. If you read them, that's what they're all about. Now, you won't win any prizes for pointing out that in practice, it's often a million bloody miles from that. But what would you rather do? Would you rather take a kid at the earliest available age and teach that kid about kindness and tolerance and charity? That, to me...
That is commendable.
Of course, that doesn't sound like a bad idea.
But that is what you should do if you have children. I've got no children. Right. But that is what I would do if I did have children.
Well, indeed, but
values.
Yeah, but you've just criticised it. You've just made it out like some sort of ghastly spectacle.
No, but the brainwashing part of it that I've criticised, not the...
What is it then? If that's teaching children something from an early age, that's brainwashing, isn't it?
No, I think a reasoned approach to teaching and learning is possible without saying that it's all down to God or Allah or whatever you want to say.
Well, they teach that...
I can be a Christian with a small c. I can follow a lot of the concepts of Christianity because they're right, and I can also do the same with the concepts of Mohammedanism or Muslim because they're right.
Yeah, they're pretty universal.
Because they're humanist, and because I have to live with other people, and we have to live together in harmony, then there are certain rules to be observed.
Well, what better way to do it? What better way to do it than to take a kid, as who was it who said, "Give me a child till he is 7 and he is mine for life"?
Communist, what was his name?
No, it wasn't. Anyway, whatever.
The child is father of the man.
All that sort of thing, yes.
Give me the child at 7 was Stalin, wasn't it, or something like that?
No, I don't think it was, actually. I think it was someone who was generally a bit less, what's the word, homicidal than Stalin. But anyway, I think it might have been Aristotle or somebody like that.
No. We're talking about 1800s.
No, well, anyway.
The child is father of the man. Wordsworth has said something like that.
I'm sure he did.
And there are another 2 prominent people.
Right, but listen. Point is this. Irrespective of the validity of the belief, there's nothing wrong with teaching children about kindness, tolerance, charity, and all the rest of it. And also the belief that vengeance is not yours, it is
The Lord.
The Lord. It belongs... No, but you see, you're dismissing that without actually thinking about it and looking at it in the context of what I'm saying. You seem to be telling me that it is reprehensible to teach children those values.
No, not the values.
Yeah.
But to be brainwashed into the...
Well, whoa. Why is it 1 minute teaching them and the next minute brainwashing? What's the difference?
Well, if you teach somebody something, you teach them to make their own decisions and everything. But a lot of these religions...
Yeah, of course they don't. That's right. No, they don't give you the opportunity to make your own decision. They say to you... This is it. This is it.
Yes. Well, it's not, because people have to use judgment and...
Albert, no. You've completely lost it altogether now. See, you don't give people a choice. This is the whole point. You don't give people a choice. You don't say to them, you can be decent to people or you can choose not to be. Religions say, this is the way you must be. You must be charitable. You must be loving. You must be tolerant.
But it doesn't work.
Wrong? Oh, well, the fact that it doesn't work is neither here nor there. But I tell you what you're advocating is saying to them, well, you can be charitable if you want, but it's up to you. Now, is that going to work any better?
Probably work exactly the same. But there won't be somebody there with a bowl going round taking all your money off you.
Well, they don't take all your money off you.
Well, 10% of tithes or whatever at one time, whatever. I don't know. I don't agree with it.
Well, you're entitled not to. I'll restate my position for your benefit. Are you ready? Are you ready? Right. People who are religious are, I believe, wrong in their belief. However, if they practice the tenets of that belief, then that's better than they're not doing. I think they are misguided. I think there is no God. There is nothing that we would recognise by any of the terms that we understand. There might be something, some entity, possibly. There might not. But whether there is or not, if for some reason the human race, and actually this is quite useful for you, because if there is no God, then the belief in God, I presume you take that attitude, Albert, that there is no God.
I take the attitude that I don't know, and if I don't know, I don't believe in things I don't know.
Okay, so you don't believe in God. So if there isn't a God, where has belief in God come from? Because if there's no God, he can't have put it there, can he? It must be something.
Ignorance, fear, and money.
No, you're just trotting out some tired Marxist phrases now. Think about this. If there is no God, then belief in God can't have been planted in human beings by God, because he doesn't exist.
No, it's been planted by...
So where's it come from?
Some people who wanted to control people. The Catholic Church. Catholic Church.
No, the Catholic Church did not create God.
No, what they did was stifle.
No.
Stifle people. It was illegal to read or write.
No, you can't say... Albert! You can't separate the two things that I'm talking about. You must try and do it. I'm putting to you this question. If God does not exist, then...
Create him.
Listen. If God does not exist, then the idea of God is a creation of man.
Yes.
Now, why would man want to create? Why would... If Jesus Christ was not the Son of God, why would he go running about the Middle East declaring that he was, if he knew the penalty was to be crucified? Why would he do that?
I think it was manipulated probably by Joseph of Arimathea, who financed him. And he studied at the three SN colonies.
Let me make it easier for you. Stop confusing the corruption of religion in practice and concentrate on the question I am asking you. Why would a man, knowing what the penalty would be, why would he run about declaring values, proselytising people, declaring values that he knew would earn him a death sentence? Why would he do that?
He might have been smoking something a bit stronger than tobacco. I don't know.
Oh, that would explain it. Do you know, I've just lost all faith in you, you pillock. There we are. That was Albert in Moston. I think we gave him a fair crack at the whip there, didn't we? Right? And unfortunately, he simply would not answer the question which I was asking him. So we only allow... In fact, we got a message last night saying, why not introduce this rule? If you have to tell somebody to shut up 5 times, that should be an automatic cutting off. You think that's a useful rule of thumb there? Okay, I'll put it to the Mensa. It's 26 minutes past 11. Oh, it's flying by tonight. And you're listening to Key 103 with James H. Reeve. I can feel an email desk coming on. And I feel that New Zealand police officers might feature to some extent in this. Just a thought. It's a bit of a hunch. You develop them. I've developed a hunch over many years. Thank you. Aye, right.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103.
I think my dad might be getting an house bill for living here, just for living in this house. This is how crazy the world is.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work.
I went to Glastonbury and I can't remember a thing.
Glastonbury, bring it on!
I must have been there, I'm covered in mud.
The best festival in history!
Now it's all coming back. Radiohead, Faithless, Morrissey, Primal Scream, Scissor Sisters, The Mud, The Mayhem, The Music.
Solstice. It's a label, man.
Glastonbury, the soundtrack to this year's 5-star Julian Temple film. On sale now.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant.
BA Connect have over 1 million seats available at fares that have never been lower. Guaranteed. The offer applies to all their routes to Europe and the UK. So, for example, you can fly to Belfast City from just £25 and Hanover from just £35. Both fares are one way and include tax. But you better hurry, because you have to book by midnight on the 24th of July. That's why I'm running home now to book. Look out, excuse me.
Book at ba.com by midnight on the 24th of July. Subject to availability, conditions apply.
Auto Glass Repair, Auto Glass Replace.
If you've got a chip in your windscreen, a call to Autoglass might save you having to get the whole thing replaced. Autoglass can usually fix a chip in half an hour, and with most insurers, if you're fully comp, it's free. And it won't affect your no claims bonus.
Don't leave it. Get it repaired. Call Autoglass now on 0800 36 36 36.
Film 4 is free now. Film 4 is free!
Hello, I'd like to talk to you about Film 4. Film 4 is now free.
Film 4 is free now.
In case you're not already aware, from Sunday, Film 4 is free. That's precisely £0 and 0 pence a month. It all kicks off at 9 p.m. with the network premiere of Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. Available on cable, satellite and now Freeview, Film 4.
It's free!
Celebrity voices were not faked in the recording of this or any other Film 4 promotional material.
When TalkTalk first offered unlimited phone calls to everybody else on TalkTalk, the moaning minis thought it would never work. Nearly 3 million happy customers later, TalkTalk are at it again. But now, with their Talk 3 call plan, you get a super-fast broadband connection free. Free broadband. From the idiots who brought you unlimited phone calls. TalkTalk from the Carphone Warehouse. Line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply. To check offer and broadband availability in your area, visit talktalk.co.uk.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
And we're just appointing... no, we're not. We're just approaching the halfway mark.
Exactly, actually.
Exactly, yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Very nearly, 25 seconds or so, of this evening's broadcast, and I feel already that it's got a certain That's a personality of its own this evening, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I've added to it. Yeah.
End of the week feel and all that. Got some emails, so that's what I'm here to do.
Well, don't let me stand in your way.
First one is
Are these the best of?
These are the best, yeah.
God's truth.
Dear Deirdre, in The Sun, says, "Hi James, I just heard you giving that poor lad from Gorton some advice. I'm sorry, but you're way off the mark. The guy needs a good slap to wake up, but saying that he might like that like I heard you do. And on the subject of you, what's this I hear about women's clothes?"
Is that your reading or the grammar there? Because
it's the grammar. Honestly,
I think the two could be a lethal combination.
Yeah, I know. The grammar's terrible. Yeah. I think you need a one-to-one with me, and I can put you in touch with people similar to you, mank trannies. They'll welcome you with open arms.
Right. Well, I tend to take my counselling requirements to like the Denton area.
Oh right. Yeah. I'm in here, so stop ringing. Katie in Bolton says, "Dear Uncle James, for the benefit of us younger listeners, please can you explain what Sue in Denton does with a stick of rhubarb? I was a bit puzzled last night." That's from Katie, who's 6.
Well, she makes a lovely picnic.
Does she?
Yeah.
Nice. James, I know you have it... Well, I'll start again. James, I know you have a bit of a reputation, but trust you to latch on to a story from the other side of the world about a woman in uniform with handcuffs. Don't you ever think about anything else? Have a cold shower or something. That's from Samantha in Wigan.
I'll try. I've had 2 games of rugby since I read that story, and I thought, no different.
I've just come back from the worst holiday I've ever had. This is John in Salford. An unfinished hotel, started work at 7 o'clock in the morning, bad food, had diarrhoea for 8 days, service in hotel was appalling, no company reps came round, would like to hear about other people's bad holidays so I don't feel bad.
Hilarious.
That's awful,
Let's have a look at that.
Diarrhoea for 8 days.
Brilliant.
I'd love diarrhoea for 8 days. I'd lose about a stone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You would, wouldn't you? Lose loads of weight. James, if you're stuck for something to talk about tonight, can we hear about Jackie's Girl Guide badges? She's so wonderful, I bet she's got them all twice. That's from Moira. Sam says, James...
You've got a badge for oboeing.
I was a music representative at my school, yeah.
God.
Yeah. In this hot weather, I've unfortunately been trying to stop my dog chasing some lady on a bike in our local park. So to prevent our Fido from causing any more distress, I ended up taking the bike off him. It's rubbish. James, just between you and me, I've planted a dozen emails in your system that say nice things about you. When Bossy Boots... That's not nice.
Who could that be?
When Bossy Boots does her email desk, if there's nothing nice about you, then we'll know she's covering up all the good emails. Watch her fall into the trap.
Yeah, I think she's, there's a certain amount of editorial Stalinism taking place.
James, did you hear about the RSPCA officer who had an office that was so small there wasn't room to swing a cat?
Well, you see, that's...
rubbish!
That is rubbish, yeah. Because it overlooks... And I think this is one of the great things about being a professional humorist.
Comedian?
Well...
You wouldn't go that far, would you?
Shall we say humorist?
Right.
Is that, you see, that comment overlooks the origin of the expression swing a cat.
I don't want to know what the origin is, though.
Well, since you ask, the origin of the expression is not related to the feline quadruped.
Right.
Mammalian.
Okay.
Female quadruped in question. But it's a naval expression, as indeed are so many in our nation of maritime adventurers.
Go on.
And warriors, indeed. That it refers to, the allusion is not to a cat, a domesticated animal, but, or indeed feral. But it's a reference to the cat. The cat and 9 tails.
Right.
There wasn't room to swing. Because to get a good wallop, you know all this about, whipping.
This is my speciality.
Absolutely. To get a really good, you need...
angle and all the rest of it.
Good contact, yeah. You need to have your arm fully extended.
Oh, yeah.
And, if possible...
You need to be sharp with your arm as well.
Yeah. And perhaps even take a couple of brisk strides towards the target as you're doing so.
Absolutely.
Well, to do so, you have to have a considerable circumference of clearance, don't you, with a cat o' nine tails?
Hence the expression.
Not enough room to swing a cat.
Sue in Denton says, "Hi, honey. When you pop round later, do you want to do role play tonight? We could do the Contessa and the Gardener."
Oh, yeah.
What's that? Or would you prefer the Sergeant Major and the Milkmaid? I could even dig out my New Zealand policewoman's uniform, though I must warn you about my big truncheon.
Yeah.
See you later, sugar lips.
Okay. Yeah, I did actually say, can you not send me those here?
James, does that police prostitute wear her uniform if you pay if you pay extra? Does she use her handcuffs and gun if you pay even more?
Everybody's asking that. How many emails has that been in?
There's loads on the police.
It's almost as if I knew that would happen, isn't it?
Linda says, "How come this story about the New Zealand policewoman caught your eye? Nothing to do with the uniform, handcuffs, and being restrained by a dominant woman, I suppose." What else? No, that's rude.
Right.
I heard on the way home from work you put a ball of elastic bands on Q103's website. Where is it? Q103's website.
It's there, George.
Oh, dear.
Who are these shiftless guys? Who do these people think they are? I'll email him, and he can just stop doing his radio show and respond to my email. It's on the bloody website. Go to the website. It's there.
Benjita says, "That's a very impressive ball you have."
Mm-hmm.
Who's the lady on the monitor? It's Sarah Beanie.
Of course, yeah.
Joke. I've invented a game show
I'll tell you what, that top Sarah's got on.
It's best the one you've got on your screensaver, isn't it?
It's not a bad picture, actually.
Yeah.
And that top is, it could go at any moment, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Hey?
You just have a tendency to wear those.
Yeah, and it's obvious, it's a bit of a nippy day as well, isn't it?
I wonder if she goes out in...
It was taken before the heat wave, that photograph, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think.
She picks out those tops.
Yeah.
Especially. James, I've invented a game show where an eel has to cross a busy road to get a fresh Eccles cake. It's called Eel or No Eel.
Very good, that. Thank you.
Right, what else have we got here?
Have you seen the Canadian version?
No.
Seal or no seal?
God was created by man to give hope because everyone fears the unavoidable nothingness of death and to try and scare people into order, from Tony Middleton.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Well, just go back to that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I used to love the days when I was in charge of things here. Everyone fears the unavoidable nothingness. I don't fear the unavoidable nothingness of death.
You're quite looking forward to it.
Bring it on, yeah.
Lying there doing nothing.
But you see, that's a difficult concept, because it won't be just like, like in the winter when you wake up and all the curtains are drawn, you wake up before the daylight. So it's really dark in the room.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it not dark? Do you not have curtains?
Yeah, the curtains are drawn, so it's like completely dark in the room.
Right.
And you're just like lying there and it's dark and you're thinking...
Yeah.
It's not actually like that. It's just like nothing. You're not even thinking.
Complete oblivion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing going... You don't know you're there. You're not even oblivious to it.
Well, you wouldn't because you're dead.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Boom. Right.
So you're looking forward to that?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you not like the idea of being up there with lots of people floating around and having nice wine and chocolate?
I don't remember...
and like chatting to God?
Was it some blessed are the chocolate makers, for their merchandise shall be in the kingdom of heaven.
But they say heaven's like...
Yeah, even
just your heaven, so it'd be like wine and chocolate and like sexy men and stuff for me.
Oh, I see.
And nice shoes. Everyone wearing nice... And they're all free. With matching bags.
With little wings
And
on.
you can just choose what you want every day. And they don't hurt your feet. Well, that's heaven, isn't it?
I think...
And also looking down on people and doing horrible things to people you don't like.
Well, I do that anyway.
I'm always looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I think you're missing quite a fundamental aspect of it there, really. Anyway, but it's too late now because,
It's too late for you.
give me a child till she's 7 and she's mine for life, so I'm not going to be able to unravel all this dangerous stuff that you've had into you. Right.
Okay, that's it, really.
Is that it? Is that
Is,
the
yeah.
desk over with?
Yeah.
No more mention of truncheons and handcuffs and...
Oh, there's a few, but those are the best ones.
Okay. Can you leave them on one side for me?
I can certainly do that.
Thanks. It's 20 to midnight already. And we're plunging on into Friday. An hour and 20 minutes of this tripe remaining. 0161 288 0103. Your avenue to radio exposure throughout, for probably the whole world. And so far, the heights we've scaled have been, why do you suck a sherbet lemon, even though you know it's going to cut your tongue? Oh, I'll tell you what. A woman in a well-known supermarket, which opens, some of them open 24 hours a day. Not all, but some. So that's narrowed it down a bit. Anyway, so there I am. And in the small hours, there are certain things going on in a supermarket, aren't there? There's all boxes, trolleys full of boxes all over the place because they're stacking up. And also the night shift are on. And they tend to be, they tend to be interesting people. Anyway, this woman, and this has happened before actually, you've only got to do the slightest thing. It's rather hard to describe. You're not really sure. You don't know all of them anyway. You're not really sure what it is you do that's like the trigger. But you do something, and it's just walking past it, but it might just be hesitating for a fraction of a second to look at a particular flavour of soup. And she knows, and that is her cue. Right? You've only got to go, you've only got to start to, right, here's an example. You wouldn't think this was necessarily a trigger. You're walking along and you think, I'll go and get, I need some palm cakes. And you go down an aisle, and then you remember it's the next one along. So you stop and move, and she'll say, they've moved them again. Do you know what I mean? She recognises it as a cue to try and start up a conversation. So anyway, this has happened before. And she starts telling you all this, that and the other. And she says, I have to have a left-handed toothbrush, me. So, actually, I'm going, which normally you do, don't you? You go, They say something, you don't know whether it's meant to be funny or whether you're supposed to go, ooh, isn't that terrible? So you make a sort of a non-committal noise, which tries to express as many emotions as, agreement, sympathy, disapproval, all in the one strange honking sound. But I was taken by surprise by this because I said, a left-handed toothbrush? She said, yeah, well, I'm left-handed. Yeah. I'm left-handed, you see, so I have to have one. And I said, I should have said, just get on with your work, you low-paid person. But I didn't. I actually made the mistake of saying, they don't do left-handed toothbrushes. Anyway, she assured me that they did and described one. Although, mercifully, there wasn't one on the premises that she could show me or perhaps even demonstrate it by cleaning her teeth with it. But yeah, apparently there is such a thing as a left-handed toothbrush. Unless she'd had a bet with a maze and said, him that's on that key 103, he comes in here, I'll make him look a pillock. You watch this. In which case she may very well have succeeded. But there we are, that's life. Nobody dies. No, that's not true, actually, is it? Everybody dies. Oh, just put my finger on one there, I wasn't expecting to. Good. Go, midnight.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103.
I've just lost for words. She must have been so desperate to do that, to kill her own child as well.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work.
Film 4 is free now.
Film 4 is free!
Hello, I'd like to talk to you about Film 4. Film 4 is now free.
Film 4 is free now.
In case you're not already aware, from Sunday, Film 4 is free. That's precisely £0 and 0 pence a month. It all kicks off at 9 p.m. with the network premiere of Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. Available on cable, satellite and now Freeview, Film 4.
It's free!
Celebrity voices were not faked in the recording of this or any other Film 4 promotional material.
BA Connect have over 1 million seats available at fares that have never been lower. Guaranteed. The offer applies to all their routes to Europe and the UK. So, for example, you can fly to Belfast City from just £25 and Hanover from just £35. Both fares are one way and include tax. But you better hurry, because you have to book by midnight on the 24th of July. That's why I'm running home now to book. Look out, excuse me.
Book at ba.com by midnight on the 24th of July. Subject to availability, conditions apply.
It doesn't matter how you got into debt. It doesn't matter why you got into debt. What does matter is how you get out of debt. If you're like thousands of other people who dread the sound of the letterbox, maybe you should call Spectrum. Government legislation means that Spectrum could write off up to 90% of your debts, leaving you debt-free with no interest and no more loans in just 5 years. Thousands of people are already on their way to being debt-free. You could be too. Just call Spectrum free on 08000 432 432. That's 08000 432 432 now. Subject to acceptance.
To get free broadband, just answer this simple question. Can you find your way to talktalk.co.uk? See, TalkTalk will give you a super-fast broadband connection free when you sign up to their Talk Free call plan, so you don't have to pay to use the internet. Free broadband from TalkTalk. Line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply. To check offer and broadband availability in your area, visit talktalk.co.uk.
I've got 5!
3.
I've got 7!
I've got 2.
6!
I've got 1.
I've got 4.
With eSure, if you've got 4 or more, you've got something to shout about. eSure only take on drivers with 4 or more years no claims, so you don't pay for others' mistakes. Call eSure on 0800 030 4446 or visit eSure.com. eSure, have you got 4 or more?
I've got 22! I think.
Terms and conditions apply.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right, we're off to Stockport, we're off to Fallowfield. Who knows where our odyssey will take us this evening. But I tell you what, Spence in Wogden says, when is this hot weather going to stop? It is crazy, I cannot live with it. Well, it's stopped. There we are, problem solved. It's making me hot everywhere. Ooh, is it? Anyway, I bet you have a nice aircon system in your posh studio. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Thank you. And also, I cannot find the rubber band thing either. Well, I'm going to look into this for you because it was there tonight. I don't know what's happened there. Just bear with us. In fact, I'll just check because I like doing this. Oh dear, that didn't work really particularly, did it? No. Oh no, it's in the wrong hole. Hang on, just let me shift the equipment around here. There's a good reason for this, right? Ah, there we go. Now, I'm going to have a look at the website for you. So, until we return to your normal programmes, here's some music. Where is it? Hang on, I can't find it. There we are. I'm just going to the website now, key103.co.uk. Hang on. It's like doing bomb disposal by remote control, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. Go to the James H. Reeve phone-in page. And there it is. Look at the size of it. Yowza. Right, I don't know what's the matter with you. It's there. Key103.co.uk. Go to, anyway, thing. My page. It's there. Because The timing's fantastic. Right, Rosemary in Stockport. Are you on the internet?
No.
Oh, you're not?
I'm a bit old and ignorant for that.
Oh, right.
I'd like to learn.
You're on green lip muscle extract, aren't you?
Oh, not quite that
Oh,
bad.
no, sorry.
Thank
Right.
you, you
Okay.
cheeky thing.
Right.
I'm only 52.
Okay.
No.
Ernie was only 52.
Hmm?
Ernie!
Well, he couldn't help that, could he?
Ernie was only 52.
And what happened to him?
He didn't want to die.
I was going to say about...
Wait a minute, well, you can't let that remark pass unchallenged.
Why not?
Ernie was only 50... What?
I was going to...
You know who Ernie was, don't you?
Fastest milkman in the world?
Yes, of course he was.
Who has milkmen these days, anyway? There aren't many of those left. I wanted to speak about that.
There's a woman on our street who has... Anyway, never mind.
Person earlier, what did you call him? Ron or Roy or something in...
Roy in Stalybridge, yeah. Master of
that
disguise.
explains it, Stalybridge, sorry.
You're not being Stalybridgeist, are you?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah?
Yes.
Right.
I'm boxed tonight. I thought, what an ignorant, narrow-minded person about people that come to this country from other countries and have expanded our way of living so well.
Well, let me take issue with you here, Rosemary, because, you see, bearing in mind
I like to think about customs that people bring with them and understanding.
Right, well...
And also, pardon me a minute, the one that... Sorry, excuse me a minute.
Well, all right, let's do it this way. You do your... I'll give you a certain length of time, then I'm going to...
Okay. The one that came on one or two before last that was going on about religion and, well, I don't belong to any of the major religions, but I'm still taught the same thing. You have to be good to people, look after your family, don't foul your environment, and, think that, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say, that's one of the things I hate other people saying.
Don't like the windows with a soft-boiled egg?
Absolutely. Yeah. The religion
Are you all right, Rosemary?
The religion I am with is called, we follow the Wicca way.
The what?
Wicca.
Wicca?
W-I-C-C-A.
What, you keep interviewing people?
No.
Oh, like a pagan, how's your father? Oh!
No, we had the same beliefs.
Yeah, that's where you get your kit off a lot in that religion, I believe, isn't it?
No.
Oh, sorry. I was rather hoping it was.
No. There's so many people think that.
Isn't Britt Eklund involved at all?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Never met the girl.
Ursula Andress? No?
Ursula Andress? No.
Okay.
No. So many people think that, and it's nothing to do with it. It's to do with respecting the world that you live in and the people that are around you.
Yes, it's like, in many ways, it's like the Native American religions and...
No, it's a Native British religion.
No, yeah, but it's like... You see, it
isn't.
Rosemary,
yes.
Stum.
Okay.
The thing is this, you see, the reason I say that is that one of the problems we've got with our own, the erosion of our own culture, is that a lot of British kids could probably tell you more about America than they could about our own country.
Well, yes.
Right.
My daughter being one of them.
Yes. So they could probably name the state capital of most of the United States.
Jeepers, I wish my daughter could.
But would struggle to name the county town of most English counties.
Yes.
Unless it's very obvious, like Leicestershire.
Yes.
But anyway, the thing is this. The reason I said that is that it will probably ring a bell with more people if you say it's like the... it's like the Native American religions in that it's respect. Just before you draw in, I heard that rattle then, which meant you were drawing breath.
Actually, I'm trying to breathe.
Okay.
Go on. I got beaten up the other night by a neighbour, so go on, carry on, please.
People slip these things in. I got beaten up by my neighbour. Half my brain's gone. That sort of thing.
Oh no, my brain hasn't gone.
No, it's all right. It's not you. But the point is this. Oh dear me. It's not like this on Question Time, is it? Frankly, the point is this. Like the Native American religion was about respect for the environment and conservation of resources. Only take what you need and no more, and all that sort of thing. And venerating the harvest and all this.
Worshipping the world that feeds you.
Okay,
yes,
absolutely. Right. Now, so we are at one on this.
Oh yes. Well, I hope you are.
Right, but no, not necessarily any of Britt Eklund's backside in it.
I wouldn't.
No.
Ever know what it looked like. Anyway.
It's actually...
I mean, she's a little bit older than me.
Well, in the film, which you're probably dreading mention of... But
Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to mention it anyway.
It's a very good film.
Well, the story is that that's not Britt Eklund's arse that you see in the film. She had an arse double. Apparently. And who was it? Now, you see...
What, the arse double? Yeah. I have no idea. It certainly wasn't me.
Rosemary. One of the few things I have learned in what I insist on calling a career is this.
I had one of those ones.
I know. We can put all the world's problems before the Hillmans tonight, and they will not get off their fat backsides.
That's a polite way to put it. Yeah.
But if I say, whose arse was it we saw in The Wicker Man, I can guarantee we'll be inundated with responses.
Hey, let's see.
Yeah, Britt Eklund said, in that scene, you see her framed from the nipples upwards.
James,
right.
You've got to ask that.
Right.
And let's see, I'll keep the radio on for a bit and see how many people ring in. Sorry, carry on, dear.
She said, but when you see that's not me when you see me backside. That was, and I tell you what, it was a Bobby Dazzler. Right. It was somebody else's that they substituted.
Well, hers must not have been good enough then.
I think she was a bit prudish.
What?
I think she was a bit particular about her morals, because she wouldn't sleep with anyone unless they'd got £10 million.
Oh, well, there you go.
I believe, yeah. Well, as a starting figure, you know.
Well,
so
there you go.
So where were we? The Wicker Man.
Wicker Religion. WICC.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Where we treat everybody with respect. God has many names, but it's the same guy all the time. I think there was a bit in the Bible, I'm not too sure, that said, in my Father's house there are many mansions.
Right, there is that bit, yeah.
Well,
mind you, that was written by an estate agent.
Oh dear.
Blessed are the estate agents.
Oh, no, I don't know about that, my love.
For they shall describe the kingdom of heaven.
We're trying to sell our house, and my mum as well. We're going to move over to Buxton, get a place together, which we've found, which we love. We're just trying to get people to buy the house. And I've got a buyer for mine, but Mum's having a little bit of difficulty. I don't know why. It's an absolutely beautiful house. It's immaculate. It looks over a park and water.
Why do you imagine anybody wants to know this?
Don't know. Sorry.
It's all right. Send me
I'm waffling,
postcard of it. Yes, very much so. Anyway, the point you're making is the trouble I was having before was that I was trying to explain something, and his objections were so deep-rooted that he wasn't answering the question I was asking, which was the difficulty. And it was perhaps you can answer this, Rosemary.
Give me a go.
Okay. The point I was making was, if you are an agnostic or an atheist,
Mm-hmm.
and you assume that there is no God. He more or less declared himself to be an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there is no God, in which case, since God cannot have put it there because he doesn't exist, why does a belief in God apparently arise spontaneously within the human mind?
We need something
you see, believe. Now listen. Well, just let me see. People who do believe in God, they've got the perfect answer. Yeah, in bod. Yeah, of course, I believe in bod. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. It's the bod's gollocks.
Naughty boy. Go on then.
People who do believe in God,
yes.
Did I really say God? People who do believe in God,
Did.
they've got an excuse. They say, well, I believe in God because God came to me and told me to, so that's fine.
Heck.
Right? But people, so they're covered, you see, and that's foolproof. I believe in God because God told me to. So there we are. But if you don't believe in God, you've got a problem. If there's no God, then it would appear people decide to believe in a God of their own free will. So where does that come from?
People that can think, I would imagine. People that can think for themselves.
So people who can think for themselves, given the choice, a great many of them, and they have done for many centuries, believe in a God.
Oh, yeah.
Without any prompting or coercion or anything. Isn't that strange?
Yes. It's not something I'm going to get involved in because I have my own very definite beliefs and I'm happy with them.
Well, that's all right. I'm happy with me.
No.
I'm happy with me, the way I love myself.
No, not at all.
I'm happy with being a big fat gat, Oprah. Because being happy with me is easier than doing something about
this is rude. This is very rude of you.
What?
What you were just saying.
No, that's your get out of everything.
Well, no, it isn't mine.
No, that is a universal get out now. I'm happy with me. It's my choice. Right? That's what everybody says.
I know that.
It excuses everything. Everything.
No.
Yes, it does.
Well, if they believe in that.
In the minds of the slack-jawed gits who come out with it, it does, yeah.
I beg your pardon, I'm not a slack-jawed git.
No, but that is your get out.
No.
Sometimes.
Well, they can say what they want.
In the interest of research, I watched that Trisha.
So do I.
And that Jeremy Kyle and what have you.
So do I.
Right? And I think...
They had the Dreadful Society on those shows, I think.
I've never seen anything like it. I cannot believe...
I mean, where'd you go? On national TV and tell everybody that?
That's a separate issue. They can do what they like. It's just... it's very, very depressing that they exist at all.
Absolutely.
Anyway, listen. No.
Sorry.
Look, you'll have to get off. You have to get off to your harvest festival. It's we've got other fish to bless and distribute. That was Rosemary, who this time didn't mention that she was naked, which is interesting. Right. That's your homework. Who was it who stood in for Britt Eklund's bottom in The Wicker Man? I'll tell you what, it was taught. Oh, 2 ways about that. Britt Eklund said it wasn't hers, so I'm prepared to take her word for that. Right. Oh dear. Pat and Sheila, go to the website. That's all. Go to the website and follow. There's instructions there. Come on, you're grown-ups, aren't you? Go to the website. Find it. It's key103.co.uk. Click on click on presenters, and then there's a list, and I'm on it. It's there. It's perfectly obvious. But blimey, this was I just said bod again. Why? Okay. Right. Fallowfield next for more of the same.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103.
That's kids for you these days. They don't stick to the laws anymore. They don't bother with them because they're not scared of the police. They're not scared of the government.
With stepping stones into work. Don't let disability stop you working.
This is a story about two great endings. At number 4, it's the end of the Ice Age, which froze the Earth for 100,000 years. And at number 1, it's the end of the Argos Big Sale. Having reduced their prices again to make them the lowest they've ever been, Debbie from Hull has already bought a half-price HP PhotoSmart photo printer for just $49.99. Bad luck, polar bears. Well done, Debbie. For your own great ending, hurry down to the Argos Big Sale. Don't shop for it. Argos it.
So after 7 years living with quite a large man in quite a confined space, it is a bit ooh to be free. And everyone's in couples now. Even thrush treatment comes in twos. I opened the box. There's an Adonis tube with its pessary girlfriend spooning. The pessary treats the cause of the infection and the cream cools the itching. Another happy couple working really well together. If they were people, he'd be a footballer and she'd probably be launching her own brand of fair trade knickers. Chemist and Combi, pessary and cream. A perfect partnership. Available at pharmacies and supermarkets. Contains clotrimazole. Always read the label.
I've got 5!
3.
I've got 7.
I've got 2.
6!
I've got 1.
I've got 4.
With eSure, if you've got 4 or more, you've got something to shout about. eSure only take on drivers with 4 or more years no claims, so you don't pay for others' mistakes. Call eSure on 0800 030 4446 or visit eSure.com. eSure, have you got 4 or more?
I've got 22. I think.
Terms and conditions apply.
Do you want the inside track on all the latest happenings at Manchester Airport? Then log on to airportinsider.com with all the latest news, jobs, accommodation and discounts for anyone who works in or around Manchester Airport. Register and you could win an all-inclusive holiday for 2 at Coconut Bay Resort and Spa St Lucia with Virgin Holidays. Conditions apply. Log on to airportinsider.com now.
Okay, that's the end of that particular interlude, and there were things missing. Oh, okay, it doesn't matter. Pretend it never happened. Jay in Fallowfield. Hello, Jay.
How you doing, James?
You're on Key 103. Make the most of this opportunity. You're speaking to hundreds of thousands of people, hither and yon.
Wonderful. Sounds like fun. You were talking yesterday about youth crime and what we need to do about it and how terrible the youth of today is and such.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, the discussion was brought up by some of your listeners about youth crime.
It may have been. We released, you heard it first on Key 103. We released the new crime figures for 2005 to 6, which I think they've done very well because it's only July. It must go. It must be like the football season. It must go from the middle to the other. Anyway, it was the British Crime Survey and the police statistics jointly, and it was the new crime figures, which I think you'll find were in your newspaper at breakfast time this morning, only 8 hours after you heard it first on Key 103. I thank you.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have so much information at our fingertips these days.
Yes, it is.
But the problem of youth crime. And the youth of today, it isn't so much the youth of today that is the problem. I mean, we can't completely remove ourselves from responsibility. I mean, you have to remember, the whole concept is that the youth will follow those who came before, and what kind of examples are we setting for them? I mean, everywhere they look today, things are looking shabbier and shabbier. The politicians are more corrupt than ever. I mean, they even have the police knocking on their door in response to crimes. The police appear to be above the law, where they can shoot people in the street who are completely innocent of any crime and get off completely scot-free. I mean, everyone around them seems to be committing crimes, and we're asking them not to. I mean, that's going to make them a part of a very small minority in this country, because it appears like everyone's committing a crime these days.
Right. I think the points that you make, I mean, I think you're caricaturing them a little for the purpose of illustration.
Yes.
But I'm sure that this has been said in generations gone by, because all the evidence suggests that every generation complains just as much as the previous one about the same thing.
Maybe so, but I think you're kind of playing it down.
I think this can be traced through history. I mean, when you hear the well, when you read your editorial in the Daily Express, and actually not just there, generally about the dangers of binge drinking and the Alka-Pops and shots and what have you, then you only have to turn to the works of the engraver Hogarth to see that he was making exactly the same point in the middle of the 19th century.
Maybe the same point, but it's on a whole nother level these days.
Have you never seen his engravings of life in the slums of London?
I have to admit my ignorance of Hogarth, James.
Have you not seen Gin Lane?
No.
Look, the next time you have the opportunity, you can either, Google it, or you can take a trip to Fallowfield Central Library, have a look at the works of Hogarth, Gin Lane. He was warning about exactly the same thing in Dickensian time, well, pre-Dickensian times, and Dickens himself was warning about them in his novels.
Yeah, but this is not the same thing, James. I mean, you surely can't believe that Tony Blair is running a government that's on the same levels as certain governments in the past. I mean, this is a blatantly corrupt government we're being run under. When you've got the police knocking on the door for cash-in-hand scandals, I don't think I've ever heard of that one before, well, apart from Profumo. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody in that kind of level of government being questioned.
How old
have you?
How old are you?
Me, 35.
Right. Reginald Maudling, John Poulson, T. Dan Smith.
How many of them were prime ministers?
None were prime ministers. But,
exactly.
But, whoa. Reginald Maudling was a government minister. I think Reginald Maudling, was he Home Secretary? Anyway, yeah, massive scandal, massive financial scandal. Reginald Maudling had to resign. Profumo, I'm sorry, I don't know what we've got to do to compete with the Minister for War sleeping with a prostitute who was also, well, sleeping with is obviously is a euphemism, having sexual relations with a prostitute who was also having sexual relations with the naval attaché at the embassy of the Soviet Union.
Sleeping with the enemy is not that big in today's terms compared with...
No, but this is at the time... No, just a minute. This is at the time...
Oh, yes, fair enough. At the time, it was scandalous.
Of the Cold War... it wasn't scandalous. It wasn't scandalous because he was knocking off a prostitute. It was scandalous because...
Because of the implications to the war effort and giving information to the Russians.
Yeah, because he was the Minister for War... And he was sharing a woman with the naval attaché to the Soviet Union, of the Soviet Union naval attaché to Britain, and they were our sworn enemy.
Yes, but at the moment our government seems to be taking us towards the edge of World War III by backing a terrorist nation, and anyone who claims that Israel is not a terrorist nation hasn't done their history. Because almost every leader of the Israeli state has been at one point a terrorist.
A few have. I mean, don't let's get bogged down in that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, a few have, not all.
A few of the biggest ones have.
A few have, yeah.
A few of the most effectual ones have.
Yeah, but then again, like most terrorists, they would see themselves as not being terrorists at all.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm seeing startling resemblances to when the Nazis started taking territory from around their borders. And at the time, everyone thought that was fascism.
Well, yes.
So why can Israel do it and it's not fascism?
Yes. The point, that's right. Look, what you've got to do. Do you know what I think, right, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
I think you've got enormous potential here, but I think you're just throwing in every little fact that you know.
No, Jim, sorry if I got off track.
Rather than assembling it into an argument.
No, I'm sorry if I got off track. The point I'm trying to make is that the youth of today, this is what they're looking at. They're looking at governments that do what they like, when they like, with very, very poor judgment. Criminal activity is being carried out at levels where there should be respect and decency. And we're turning round to them and saying, you're not pulling your weight, you're not doing good enough, how dare you commit crimes?
Right.
They're not the only people in this country committing crimes. Not by any long stretch.
Right. This was... We actually touched on this earlier in the week, and I have to say, with the caveat here that every middle-aged generation moans about the youth of its time, right? But we were talking the other night about girls who choose to have a baby rather than get a job at the age of 14 and 15 because it gives them a purpose.
And it also gives them a slap off the state and a way of getting out from their family home, which they probably didn't have a very happy time in.
That's all right. That's as may be. But the point which arose from that is that expectation was nil.
There's a poverty of aspirations, James.
Well, this was exactly the point that I used. Now, this is something else that Tone was going to put right. So, the question which arises from that is, the problem is, they don't see that they have any share in society, they have any stake in society. But the problem with that is that they don't see what they're going to get out of society without putting anything in. Now, this ties in with the point that you are making. Okay. The example I used the other night was Jade Goody and various other people whose principal quality is staggering stupidity, okay, and witlessness. So someone thinks, well, wait a minute, what's the point of me working hard when I could be rich by being stupid? But I already am stupid, and yet I am not automatically becoming rich. This world holds nothing for me. I'll have a baby. Now, that rather concerns me. So, to go back to your point about models, I honestly feel, and you've always got to bear in mind that eventually you turn into your parents.
I do hope not.
Right? Oh no, you do. Even things like don't rub your eyes, things like that. Right? Go and comb your hair. You find yourself doing it. But even allowing for that, although there is precedence, as I say, William Hogarth and what have you, I do feel that when you look around the society that has been created, I honestly believed that things would get better after 1997. I honestly and genuinely believed that. But when I look round, what I see is more pubs, open longer, more casinos, more relaxations of all manner of rules, of everything from in the media, licensing laws, all sorts of things. And I do feel, as I think you were trying to say before, that when people look around them, what they see is an extraordinary decadence which someone from brought up in the 50s and 60s and 70s wouldn't recognise.
But it's all there to control the flow of equity in urban areas, James. To get the money back out of your pocket in case you save it and try and make something of yourself.
Oh, no, I think you're just hurling stuff in willy-nilly now. There we are, right. That was Jay. I'd like to do longer with him, but he needs to focus a bit more. He needs to distill it down a bit. That's just my advice, right. Actually, I must just bring you this very important news, which is Arjun Presswich says, I'll have to correct you. Britt Eklund wasn't prudish. She's Swedish. Thanks very much indeed. Right, listen to these.
Now, with Orange Bonus Top-Up, instead of getting free credit, you can choose to get texts, up to 1,000 a month. So tell me, sir, why did you choose free texts?
Maybe it's because I talk like a game show host!
Wow, right, so people find that distracting.
It's a good guess, but we're gonna need more.
And you'd rather text people than call them?
Only if you spin that wheel!
Look, just give me a straight answer, and we can both go home.
Ooh, wrong answer! You've just lost the speedboat!
Just answer the question!
Oh dear, a sore loser. Give her a big hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Orange bonus top-up. Now with up to 1,000 Orange texts or up to 50% of your credit back every month. See orange.co.uk for details. Orange. The future's bright. Available on anytime fixed rate tariff. £10 minimum monthly spend. Terms apply.
BA Connect have over 1 million seats available at fares that have never been lower. Guaranteed. The offer applies to all their routes to Europe and the UK. So, for example, you can fly to Belfast City from just £25 and Hanover from just £35. Both fares are one way and include tax. But you better hurry, because you have to book by midnight on the 24th of July. That's why I'm running home now to book. Look out, excuse me.
Book at ba.com by midnight on the 24th of July. Subject to availability, conditions apply.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Yes, sir. 20 past midnight. This is, oh dear me. You know what it is. Wallace. Oh, here we go. Wallace in Oldham. Wallace.
Yes, good evening.
Oh, hello, Wallace.
What's the matter?
Hey, what's the matter? How long have you got? Did you ring me or did I ring you?
You rang me.
Did I really?
Yeah.
What did I want?
About something what you mentioned before about stupid animals.
Stupid. Yeah, well, I'd like to make it quite clear that I didn't actually...
Well...
I didn't introduce this aspect of things.
It's open a can of worms, isn't it?
Well, no, eels, actually.
Eels.
Yeah. And although apparently the fresh are much tastier.
It is, no.
Yeah. No. He reckoned that eels were the... Who was it? I can't remember. Anyway, he reckoned that eels are the stupidest animals in the world. Because they still follow... I think he's wrong about this.
Well, it's just instinct, isn't it? That's what it is. Just I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is instinct.
Yeah.
But also, an octopus, do you know this?
Go on.
An octopus can take the lid off a jar of jam. Well, not of jam, they don't like jam.
It can, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they can learn things, can't
they?
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he reckoned, it's like, say I wanted to get from Prestwich to Stockport.
Right,
I could keep going through Gorton Way and Reddish instead of using the new bit of the M60 that opened.
All right.
See what I mean?
All right, yeah.
I deliberately used that parallel so that people, you see what I mean? That's in touch with common people like yourself, and also a bit of a local aspect. Because I use the M60. That's how I do it. That's the secret of my success.
See.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Right. Do you think it's a fair parallel?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right. Okay. So, go on.
It's a bit, the lemming.
The lemming?
Yeah, but they don't hurl themselves off cliffs.
I believe so. There's a great...
yeah, it's true.
Lemmings have had a bit of a bad press. What in fact do they do?
Well, there was this program about it, and these cameramen were shoving them down this side of this cliff.
Cameramen were? What, with like a big yard brush?
Yeah, I think so. Making this documentary.
Yeah.
And then they were forcing them, pushing them down to make people think that they hurl themselves off cliffs, which they don't.
Why? So, is it entirely the fault of these cameramen that people believe lemmings throw themselves off cliffs?
Yeah, it's all to do with this documentary they did years and years ago.
So, was it like an April Fool or something?
I don't know, but that's what people sort of started thinking, that lemmings throw themselves off cliffs when they don't.
Well, I'm very grateful to... So, well, it's very nice of you to come on and speak up on behalf of... there's a little bit of a lemming impression there, wasn't there, as well? Is that just your bad chest?
No. It's my laugh, that, actually.
It's sounding like Muttley.
Yeah, my sister says that.
Do you know, there's a fella works here. No names, no patron. But how can I put this? I've been occasionally, over the years, attached to this broadcasting organisation.
Yeah.
On and off,
Yeah.
And sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Anyway, during one of the spells when I wasn't, I mean, I popped in to see an old mate of mine. Lovely old bloke. And, called Dave. He's a smashing. He forgets things now, but he's, Anyway, I called in to see him, and he said, some of the lads from work right. So there we are. So we sat round a table outside a pub. And somebody said something, and this lad started laughing.
Yeah.
And I thought, like a donkey.
Yeah.
And of course, I'd never seen this before.
Right.
If he's listening now...
You're falling up.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you who it is. Right? But he knows I know. Right? And somebody said something, and everyone went, yeah, yeah, it's all right. And he went,
oh, no.
Yeah. And I thought, what the hell's that? And I must have had such an expression of astonishment on my face.
I can imagine, yeah.
That everyone then starts laughing at me because I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he said, he says he's noted for it. He's like a monstrous bicycle pump. Yeah.
Oh, dear me.
Why did I mention that?
Because of my laugh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mutley, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
He's talking about, what's her name, Britt Eklund.
Oh, yes.
I think it might have been Susan George,
Susan George's bottom?
I think so, or someone like that.
I'd settle for that.
I think it was that. I think it was somebody like that. I remember watching a programme about it.
About Britt Eklund's?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
She had to sneak in, this woman. So no one, she had to crouch down in this car. Because they wouldn't see her or something. She had to sneak in to do the part.
That's worth looking into, that.
Yeah, it's right, that, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let that gag go. Right, okay. Well, thanks very much indeed, Wallace. Thanks very much for the standing up for lemmings, and also the theory about... look, there must be... I know the sort of people we get listening to this radio station. Right? Who was it who's actual... When it's supposed to be Britt Eklund's backside in The Wicker Man, it wasn't. It was somebody else. Was it Ingrid Pitt? So anyway, name that arse on 0161 288 0103. You can research it for me, if you'd be so kind. I think that would be only fair. Right, are we off to... Yeah, come on, whose was it? 0161 288 0103. Off to... off to Bagley next. That'll be nice.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103.
I got really mad and thought, well, stuff you. I can do this. I know that you're wrong and I can do better than this.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work.
This is Smiley Faces, the brand new summer single from Niles Barkley. Taken from the #1 album, St. Elsewhere. Niles Barkley, Smiley Faces, the new single, out now.
To get free broadband, just answer this simple question. Can you find your way to talktalk.co.uk? See, TalkTalk will give you a super-fast broadband connection free when you sign up to their Talk Free call plan, so you don't have to pay to use the internet. Free broadband from TalkTalk. Line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply. To check offer and broadband availability in your area, visit talktalk.co.uk.
I'm Eileen and I'm quitting with nicotine. I quit cigarettes about 6 weeks ago and I find that the nicotine lozenges are definitely helping. When I get a craving now, I pop nicotine lozenge in my mouth and I find that my cravings are gone within minutes. Before I quit cigarettes, I was really worried that I was going to put on a lot of weight. but I find they help take away my cravings for cigarettes, and they help to reduce my food cravings.
Eileen quit smoking last year using nicotine CQ 4mg lozenges, which helped Eileen control her cravings and her weight while she quit. Requires willpower, contains nicotine, always read the label.
Now, with Orange Bonus Top-Up, instead of getting free credit, you can choose to get texts, up to 1,000 a month. So, tell me, sir, why would you rather text someone than call them?
Well, I have to text, because when wolves hear my voice, they get really angry.
How unusual.
Yeah, it's something about an unusual frequency hits their adrenaline gland or something, and they just come straight to the source.
And do they attack you?
No, they leave me alone. Usually they just go for people standing close.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Just, oh,
Orange Bonus Top-Up. Now with up to 1,000 Orange texts or up to 50% of your credit back every month. See orange.co.uk for details. Orange. The future's bright. Available on anytime fixed rate tariff. £10 minimum monthly spend. Terms apply.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Someone who's increasingly getting on my nerves keeps sending in messages. Earlier, when somebody said that the dearest season ticket at Old Trafford was £36,000, he emailed in and said, no, it's not. It's £120,000 a year, and I've got it. He's now also said, James, it was me that replaced Britt Eklund's arse in that scene. No, you just keep doing that, I'm afraid. Let's go to Bagley. Matt's in Bagley. Let's see what he wants here. Hello,
Square.
Matt in Bagley.
Morning, Square.
Hello. Is everything telephonically under control now?
Yes, it was okay the other night as well, wasn't it?
That's all
no
right.
interference. Hello?
Yes. Hello, yes.
Hello, yes,
Oh,
okay.
God, what?
Right, anyway, I'm afraid I'm going to have to let you down as regards Britt Eklund's standing arse.
Mm-hmm.
It was rather prosaic, I'm afraid. It was just some old stripper who the director picked up from a club in London to replace her because she was rather... she was a bit prudish about getting her ass out.
Right, we've had that gag before.
Yeah.
She wasn't prudish.
No, she's Swedish, yeah.
So
apparently
it wasn't a famous arse then?
No, it wasn't, no, unfortunately, no. And it wasn't Ingrid Pitt, although she was in the film.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she played the...
accordion?
Stra. Yeah, she played the accordion as well.
Good.
Yeah, so that was that. I was going to put in a word for human beings being the most stupid animal.
I'm not sure that they're allowed to enter.
Well, I have a little story here to read out, if I may.
By all means.
It illustrates my point.
Yeah.
And
eats up those vital minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1865, a 31-year-old French woman came home to her farmhouse to find her husband deathly ill. She later gave the following testimony to the police, according to French criminologist Dr. Ambrose Tardieu. On Sunday, June 4th, coming home around 6 p.m., I found my husband in bed and vomiting. Stunned, I brought him a glass of sugar water and asked him about his illness. He told me that at around 5 p.m. that same afternoon, he went to relieve his bowels near our home. I presume they didn't have an outside toilet then.
Yeah.
Well, it is France, though, isn't it? I don't think we even have them now. Anyway, when he heard the bellowing of a bull in the stable, fearing for the other animals, he ran there without taking the time to button his pants. Reaching the stable, he approached the bull, which had broken its tether, when the animal knocked him down, and he found himself on his hands and knees with his ass in the air.
No.
Yeah. His shirt untucked, and his legs hobbled by his fallen pants. The bull inserted its pizzle into my husband's anus, and he felt excruciating pain.
I would think so.
I immediately called Dr. Pavey, and despite his frantic efforts, my husband died 8 hours after the accident. Dr. Pavey, 76 years old, gave the following statement to the gendarmes. I examined the patient and discovered the anus was bleeding and leaking a slimy fluid, which I presume to be the result of the ejaculation of the animal. The patient suffered terrible pain and died at 1 a.m. on June the 5th. I have never witnessed a similar case, and my medical opinion is that G had his rectum perforated by the bull. The gendarmes decided not to execute the bull since the day of the accident the bull was upset by a cow that had been brought there to be mounted for breeding purposes. That's pretty stupid, isn't it?
Well, it has certain qualities, yes.
Especially when you know that there's a very, how can we put it, switched on bull.
Yeah, and a stupid man involved.
Yeah.
It does seem to be a bit of an elaborate way of demonstrating it. I would have thought just simply someone sawing through a branch while sitting on it would have sufficed. But if that's the example you chose, then...
I thought, it was one of many. And going back to John Perfumo as well, I think he's a particularly good example to use, because he was knocking off someone who was being knocked off by the Soviet naval attaché at the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yes.
So, lest we forget, people, they did it in more style then, didn't they? He could have given away all the codes for World War, to start a World War III.
Yeah, he could have done, but what was his undoing was
lying.
He lied to the House of Commons.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed to lie to the House of Commons.
And I don't think using leaders of Israel is a good example either. Chaim Herzog, wasn't he a British army officer, one of the first people through the gates of Belsen?
Chaim Herzog, he was president, wasn't he, of Israel?
Yeah,
and he was Irish.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But he was a British army officer. Yeah.
Might be. But anyway, can we not do this where we ring up for our critique, our closing remarks on the show, and at 10:43 a.m. as regards the concept of an all-seeing and benevolent God, can we jazz it up a bit?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sarah Beanie, did you see her on Richard and Judy the other day?
No.
She's branched out.
She has, hasn't she?
She's branched out, and she's become a dog breeder, and she brought in a couple of lovely puppies to show Richard.
Now stop that.
They were fantastic.
Yes, all right, especially the one with yes.
There was a little cask of brandy under each one.
Was there?
Yes. Should you require
something to bring you round, yeah.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Hey, how about an ancient Trojan game show? Heel or no heel? No?
No, look, have you any idea of the audience we're catering for here?
And I was just thinking, I mentioned the Tramp the other night. I was just thinking, I've got quite a sort of what's the word?
I don't know.
Interesting brain, I'd say. In a Trump's hinterland, they always say that there's a broken heart somewhere along the way.
And his hinterland?
Yeah, in a Trump's hinterland, you know. So I was just wondering how long the process takes. So let's say it's you, for instance, and the missus comes in and says, look, I can't lie to you, James, it's all over. I've been having an affair, and I don't love you anymore. And then you go, oh, woe is me, how long does it take before, you go, oh, whoa, oh, no, I can't go on anymore. Have you got 10p for a cup of tea?
Yeah, interesting to plot it. As a matter of fact, have I told you what happened to me, what would it be, about 3 or 4 months ago?
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about that process. And a bloke came up to me, and he said, excuse me, and he looked a bit like down and out.
Yeah.
But sort of, well, if I tell you the story, that you'll be able to picture the scene.
Yeah.
As if he was like, not completely verminous.
No.
But he looks as if he was losing his grip, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, excuse me, he said, he was quite well spoken. He said, I hope you don't mind my troubling you, and I wouldn't normally approach someone, a total stranger, in this fashion, but I wonder if you could spare just perhaps a moment or two to listen to what I have to say, because it concerns the very unfortunate circumstances in which I find myself, which are in stark contrast to my previous circumstances. I was actually very successful in business, happily married, and with a lovely family. But owing to a series of financial miscalculations and in my view, shoddy behaviour by one or two financial institutions, I found that my economic circumstances deteriorated markedly. This led to friction at home, to the breakup of my marriage, to the children being removed, to my becoming homeless, and eventually to my wife making a claim on all my property. As a result of which, I have absolutely nothing left in the world except this gun. So, yeah.
Yeah. Some of them, you have to let them stew, don't they?
Yeah.
Before the full, impact hits home.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That was quite good, that. Do you know any others?
They're all longer than that one.
Oh, right.
Oh, hang on. Whoa. Message coming in here.
Oh, yeah.
Email's just arrived. It's from PC Brigade. Where's it from? Espera Gabba Gabba Hay. I don't understand that. Oh, Harper Hay. Harper Gabba Gabba Hay.
Oh, yeah.
He says, Dear James, whatever the subject under discussion, my opinion is that it's political correctness gone mad. Regards, PC Brigade. Retired.
Oh, dear, yeah.
Nearly retired. I'm just making a round of toast.
Yeah, that's the Daily Mail speaking, that.
I think so.
Yeah. Just going back to trams quickly before I take my leave. I was walking down. I used to work in town many years ago. I was walking down Mosley Street, just where the City Art Gallery is.
Oh yes, with an independent air. Yes.
Yes, and in front of me, probably about 30 yards away, was this tramp sort of staggering from side to side, and then all of a sudden he stopped, and there was this sort of great. Well, what I can only presume was an air of concentration came upon him. And he shuffled one leg, and out popped a perfectly formed Richard.
No.
Yeah. And I thought, well, no matter what else you say about him, that he smells, whatever, you've got to admire that kind of confidence.
Certainly, yes.
It could have gone either way, couldn't it?
Oh, very much so, yeah.
But, I briefly inspected the aforementioned Richard as I walked past.
Yes.
And it was indeed perfectly formed.
Well, that's lovely.
Yeah, so I'll leave you at that. I'll leave it at that.
Do you know, a lot of people will be listening now, having been, with it being a bit too hot to cook today.
Yeah.
They'll have been out. They'll have just got home with a shami kebab. And they've just been opening it as you were telling that story.
Lovely. All right.
That's nice. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. At least the day's not been a complete waste of time, has it? If you can do something like that. Thank you very much indeed. That was Matt from Bagley. Once again, no idea whatsoever what he was talking about. But at the end of it, you always feel as if whatever it was he said, he said it with a certain amount of conviction and not a little style. Right. 17 minutes to 1. Not long to go to my weekend, and that's what my weekend starts here. So the sooner we get up to 1 o'clock, the better. This will help us on our way.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
I'm glad the Spend Your Exxon era is over now. It's finished and it's behind us.
With Stepping Stones. See steppingstonesintowork.info. Sky Festival Manchester 2006. It's the UK's biggest free entertainment festival from the 11th to the 13th of August. This is where Sky TV and Key 103 will bring Manchester to life with over 31 TV channels and 36 events. Listen to Ditchy Drive Home all next week on Key 103. For your chance to win a Sky Plus package, you just need to let us know why you're the king or queen of TV in Manchester. For details and free tickets, visit skyfestival.co.uk and switch on to Sky Festival with Sky TV and Key 103.
Hi, this is Madonna. Do you know what H&M stands for? I finally figured it out. H&M stands for Her Majesty. Wasn't that sweet of them?
Okay, we love you. Who doesn't? Stop by any H&M for your chance to win 2 tickets to Madonna's Confessions Tour live in London or Paris. No purchase necessary. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's get together. see you at my show.
When TalkTalk first offered unlimited phone calls to everybody else on TalkTalk, the moaning minis thought it would never work. Nearly 3 million happy customers later, TalkTalk are at it again. But now, with their Talk 3 call plan, you get a super-fast broadband connection free. Free broadband. From the idiots who brought you unlimited phone calls. TalkTalk, from the Carphone Warehouse. Line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply. To check offer and broadband availability in your area, visit talktalk.co.uk.
I'm standing on a crumbling ledge, peering down into a gorge of self-doubt. And then Andrew catches hold of me, and suddenly we're flying high above snow-capped peaks of happiness. When we get too giddy, we swoop down to restful fields of beautiful flowers, where we lie together until the end of the call.
With free weekend calls and texts for Vodafone Pay As You Talk customers, where will your conversation take you? Use £5 Monday to Friday, join in-store or call 2345 on Vodafone. Make the most of now.
Excludes 08 and 09 numbers, each call up to 60 minutes to any network. Fair use and conditions apply.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Whoops, right, made it. Ray is in Bellevue. Ray! Come on, that Key 103. Let's hear what you've got to say for yourself.
Well, good evening, James.
Well, that's a good start.
Yes.
Textbook stuff, that.
Pardon?
Textbook stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Right out of the manual.
Well, I'd like to tell you about my free visits to Northern Ireland.
From God. One at a time?
Well, I'll try and condense it.
Yeah.
Between the beginning of the Troubles and the end of the Troubles.
Whoa. Would you like to place a date on either of those two?
Well, 1969 to 1998.
It ended in 1998.
Well, yes, the violence is much reduced. Very much reduced. The Irish Republican Army have given up their weapons, and it's been verified. And Catholic people are no longer shot. So I think there's been a lot of improvements myself.
Yeah, the odd one, but I don't think it's part of any concerted plan.
But I first went in September 1969 with my granddad and my dad, and we were the three only people on the aircraft going to Belfast. Everybody, I think, was going away from Belfast. My granddad had been on a holiday to our house in Old Trafford. And
he went on holiday to Old Trafford?
Well, it was a long time since he'd seen his family.
Oh, I see, right.
And, you know, we were the only three on the plane going. But when we got to the airport was at Aldergrove Airport. We said our goodbyes, and me and my dad went to the bathroom there, the toilets. And we washed our hands and everything, and there was a man, me and my dad had a little conversation, can't remember it now, but there was a man there, I'd never seen him, and he started provoking us. He started saying, well, it seemed a bit irrational. I think, now that I think about it, he started saying, I eat Catholics, he said. I eat Catholics. My dad told me to punch him, so I punched him, and I knocked him out.
Is that, yeah.
And there was two witnesses there, two Americans. They were either American or Canadian.
Okay.
They didn't bat an eye. They looked as though they were former servicemen from the Second World War. They were just carried on washing their hands as though they'd seen a lot of action and they weren't bothered. But the second time I went,
that was just one trip. That was it.
That was 1969. That was just. I went along on the aircraft. I'd never been on the aircraft before. But we didn't leave Aldergrove Airport. We just left coming back.
All right, too much
to Ringway.
Right.
But
look, Ray.
Yeah.
Is there I know you've got another two sets of holiday slides to show us. Right, but.
Well, I'll cut to the chase then. I'll cut to the quick.
Right.
The two politicians I like the most in Northern Ireland, our elected politicians, are David Irvine of the Progressive Unionist Party and Martin McGuinness of Sinn Féin. Now, I think they've been elected by working class constituents, and I think David Irvine has appeared on telly, and
he does the snooker, doesn't he?
No. But he seems a calm and sober politician. He looks as though he chooses his words carefully, and he's one of the politicians who was elected to the local assembly in Northern Ireland, and currently the Northern Ireland politicians are meeting to try and form a government again by the end of November.
Right. Well, I'm very flattered that you've chosen me at this time in the morning as the outlet for your views on this. It's interesting, particularly the holiday reminiscences.
Well, I went on a trade union delegation in 1976 to Belfast and to Londonderry.
Yes.
And, I'll tell you about the conditions in Londonderry. A friend who was on the delegation, it was only 4 of us, it was an unofficial trade union delegation. But
was Yuri Gagarin with you?
No, he wasn't, no.
Okay.
But he said that he reckoned the Bog Side wasn't as poor as Moss Side. I thought it was pretty poor myself where the people lived. I know it was, you see, we went to the Catholic areas. I know it's one-sided, and to see a place you should see different areas. But, no, I thought it was pretty poor. There wasn't much amenities for the children, but things, I haven't been since the 1970s, but there will have been a lot of changes. And also, I think that's a good, well, it might be symbolic, but it could be practical. I think a good thing, the government have given £1,000. They've allotted £1,000 million to Northern Ireland. I think a good thing would be for a university to be built in Londonderry that would attract people from all over Northern Ireland and the world. It would produce chemists and scientists,
all right, and
agronomists, and lawyers and doctors. I think it would be something practical. Martin McGuinness was the Minister for Education under the government there.
It's lovely, right.
And I think that would be a good thing.
Splendid. Well, I'm sorry, but for my money, you can't beat Ian Paisley.
Well, you see, Ian Paisley represents the Catholic and Protestant constituents. He does represent them fairly, you know.
35 years he's never changed. He's never relented. He has never changed.
Well, I do remember hearing in 1978 that he took up the case of a Catholic lad who was backward, who had picked up a rifle that was on the floor in the countryside near a building, and the lad had pointed the rifle. He was playing cowboys and Indians, and he was shot dead by a soldier, a British Army soldier. And then Ian Paisley took up the case for the lad's parents, who happened to be Roman Catholics.
Well, yeah,
so he has represented his constituents fairly, I would say.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to represent all your constituents. Anyway, Ray, that was lovely. Thank you very much indeed. And let's hope that small contribution leads to a peaceful and, oh God, I nearly said United Ireland then. That would have been a serious mistake. A peaceful thing? Good. I was just getting, well, to be honest with you, you ever reach a stage where you think, it's as if like, I'll tell you what it's like. You know the numbskulls?
Mm.
Were they in the Beezer?
Yeah.
Anyway, they were in some comic. You know the numbskulls, where they're all like little people that live inside somebody's head.
Yeah.
Right. And like the mouth like sends a message up to the brain saying, running out of words down here. Right, it's 6 minutes to 1. Need a few more words just to get us up to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the brain sends a message out saying, sorry. Yeah. That's
Is that how you feel?
You're on your own.
Oh.
Yeah, very much so. Right. But there's, have you heard this? Oh, there's one or two suggestions about what you might, adjustments you might have made in the hot weather, but they seem to have been deleted.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mark in Wigan says, this new Key 103 James H. Reeve swap shop that you haven't brought in yet, I was wondering if you'd be interested in swapping a private box at the test match at Old Trafford with Sarah Beanie to look after you. All I want in exchange is an introduction to Sue in Denton. Is it a swap, or should I say deal or no deal?
Oh.
I must get...
Did you watch it today?
No.
A woman dealt for 25 grand and she has 50 grand in a box.
Well, I'll go to the foot of our stairs.
I know.
What, the other afternoon, a really cocky, attention-seeking, sweaty, I think he won a quid.
There's been a couple of, because Noel started the show by saying there's been some negative energy this week, which we have to overcome. Tonight we've got to concentrate on getting the positivity back, blah, blah, blah. And he said that a couple of people had won a penny.
That's remarkable. That's extraordinary. Right. But what's not extraordinary is that you've won £3,000. Yesterday, somebody won £50,000. But the thing is, every day, I get £100,000 for this shite! Isn't that extraordinary?
It is, yeah.
Okie doke. Oh, sorry, I thought I'd timed that nicely to go out on a big,
Now it's just going to go downhill,
a big expletive, but it's diminishing returns. I've just got to get more and more obscene until eventually I'll be forced to say Gordon Ramsay. But, no, get myself a BAFTA.
What are you doing?
I don't know, I can't make this thing work. Man, you never have been able to.
No,
so
I do it all.
No
don't
great
worry
loss.
about it.
Right, I was just tidying up a few loose ends. Right, now, what I must tell you is...
Oh, don't ring now. There's 3 minutes
obviously,
to go.
I know. I've got to tell you this, and this will mean nothing to you, except it might mean something to some people. You must have seen the film. June Allison has died. And June Allison played the wife in one of the nicest but most misleading films of all time. She played the wife of Major Glenn Miller in the film, the Glenn Miller story. Anyway, have you not seen it?
No.
It's the most beautiful film ever. You really fall in love with Glenn Miller. What a nice man, and how. Yeah, and of course, if you read any biographies, he was an absolute git.
Oh, really?
He's a really nasty piece of work. Yeah.
Well, that's a good job he did that film to make everyone think he wasn't.
With James Stewart as Glenn Miller, so you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with James Stewart, I don't think.
No.
Right. There was also an email about Lara Lewington, which I can't find just at the moment. I don't think.
There's no time.
No, we're not going to have time.
No.
Oh, in fact, we've only got time, as usual, just the right amount of time to explain skillfully that you've got an hour of non-stop music coming up after the news, and then Matt Spokes taking you through till 5:30 when it's Toolin and that. So,
The James H. Reeve phone in.